Hello YouTube, what is up? This is the Wait Small Bringer bringing you Chapter 4 of Episode 5 of Spartan. And today, considering this is yet another Horde Mode level, we're just going to talk about the Halo book some more. So, if you recapped from my last episode where I talked about Halo, where I talked about all the Halo books up until Halo Evolutions, sorry, my mind goes blank every once in a while and I gotta struggle to figure out what I was talking about. Okay, whoopsie there. After Halo Evolutions came Halo Cryptum in 2011, and, well, it's the story of the Forerunner Covenant. Oh, I'm not Covenant, Forerunner Flood War. It's gonna get my things confused. My canon confused very well. Yeah, it's about the Forerunner Flood War from the eyes of a younger Forerunner. And it's a fairly good book, with fairly good twists. And also, it really does inform Halo 4 a lot, actually. Like, half of Halo 4 makes no sense unless you read Cryptum. Like, why is the Didact a dick? You know? Like, why is he trying to violence the hell out of everyone? They answer that partially in Terminal, but they don't answer that really well as they do in the Forerunner trilogy. That also sort of covers Primordium and Silentium. Silentium is kind of strange too. Oh, and also, spoiler alert for Primordium, so mute this for the next probably minute. But 343 Guilty Spark in Primordium is revealed to still be alive. Yeah, it takes place in the time frame of after Halo 3, but is a retelling by 343 Guilty Spark, who's still totally alive and got found by some dudes in the UNSC. Yeah. Well, that covers the Forerunner saga. I know I don't want to talk about it a lot, but honestly, I just don't want to give away the ending, like the whole thing, because it's really good. However, what's better is Halo Glasslands in the Kilo 5 trilogy, which is really good. Halo Glasslands does start off with the Kilo 5 trilogy, but it's technically also a sequel to the Ghosts of Onyx. So if you're curious, like, how did they get out of that shield world, well, that's pretty much it. That pretty much explains how they got out. If you want more info, then go read the books. Yeah. Thursday War is also good, which is the next book in the Halo Kilo 5 trilogy. Kilo 5, by the way, being a Office of Naval Intelligence Black Ops squad dedicated to basically wrecking the entire Covenant's day. You know, that whole, we know you guys are struggling with that whole your gods betrayed you thing, but we still totally want to wipe the hell out of you, even if they're not directly saying we want to wipe the hell out of you. Yeah, it's sort of like the CIA on the, I always like to think that Oni is like the CIA, but 1,000 times more paranoid. That's really the only way you can look at it in a fair face about it. Because they're absolutely insane. But Kilo 5 story is good. The characters, well, they do have a good dynamic, and they're fairly enjoyable. Also, one of the characters from Glasslands actually appears later on in Spartan. So, that, too. And no, I'm not talking about Dr. Watson. But it does explain how she came to be in prison. That too. Turns out, basically the events of First Strike and Fall of Rage pretty much got her there in prison. And also, she's still technically dead. Yeah. Yeah, she supposedly died on Reach, but the Master Chief, people like the Master Chief and Spartan Blue Team know that's a giant load of horse crap. So, yeah. That basically covers all the books in the series. So I guess we can talk about all the comic books in the series, right? Right. So let's start with the first one, Halo, fuck, I forgot. Halo, the graphic novel, that's it. Okay, so while the license to the Halo comics is owned by Dark Horse nowadays, which, to be fair, actually, considering the fact they own the Star Wars license and the Mass Effect license, pretty much means we could have the most badass crossover of all time. Come on. Wouldn't that be awesome? Mass Effect and Halo. Tell me that crossover would not kick ass. Kick untold amount of ass. But back to what I was saying. While Dark Horse does own while Dark Horse does own the license now, the license was once held by Marvel. So let's cover their books. That plus Dark Horse hasn't really made any books yet. Check back within in August. But the first book that Marvel made was Halo the Graphic Novel, which is pretty much 4 short stories within the Halo universe. So, yeah, it's kind of like evolutions before evolutions, or legends before legends. Pretty much the point being it's a comic book. It's a comic book short story collection. That's really about it. It tells several stories, like testing of the Mark 6 armor, how Sergeant Johnson escaped the Flood in Halo 1, all that fun jazz. There's also a collection of artwork in that too, so if you're interested in that, go check that out. But for the most part, it's fairly enjoyable. I like it. Art style can be kind of weird sometimes, but that's because they're separate short stories. It's not like it's one consistent art style that sucks. It's like, it might be one bad art style, the other art styles are last one. Oh yeah, the next one, Halo Uprising. My god, I could not find a worse comic book based on the Halo series. It is bad. It's disorganized, disjointed, it just doesn't know what it's trying to do. Is it trying to tell a story about the Master Chief? Is it trying to tell something that will transfer the Halo universe? Or is it trying to tell a love story? Well, ultimately, it tries to juggle all 3 of those. And you know what? It works out about as well as you might expect. Namely, not at all. It's pretty bad. And honestly, fairly enjoyable. Why? What was supposed to be the Master Chief story between 2 and 3 got turned into a love story about civilians on Earth. Yeah, that's really interesting there, guys. Great work, guys. Because it's not like, they couldn't have had a second side story with the Arbiter. Because, that's not interesting. Focusing on the ramifications of everyone deciding to betray their leaders and go on a rebellion because you realize, not betraying, getting betrayed, and that whole our religion is total bogus, and in actuality, the things we thought would cause our ascension is actually just basically weapons of galactic suicide. No, that's not interesting. That's dealing with the ramifications of that's not interesting at all. No, let's pick a love story. And to give you an idea of how bad it was, it started in late 2007. It ended in late 2009. It was only 4 issues long. You're gonna stretch it out. It's actually just 4 issues. That took them 2 years to complete. Give you an idea on how just absolutely horrendous this was. Because when you got a bad development cycle, ultimately, you're going to have a bad game. And not bad game, just bad product. And very rarely has this been proven different. Well, anything George Lucas and Steven Spielberg made it back in the late 70s and early 80s, that's an exception. Retro's Metroid Prime game, that's also an exception. But outside of those 2, nothing else really spots to mind as anything being the exception. Name other things like Sonic 06, Sonic Extreme, Halo 2, tend to not really turn out. Okay, Sonic 06 and Sonic 06 is a terrible game. Sonic Extreme was never released, and Halo 2 had a horrible cliffhanger ending. Starting to see a theme? I am. And I hate that theme. But we all are also coming to the end. So, I guess maybe we should talk a little bit more about Uprising. Because I honestly really don't care about spoilers. Turns out there's this mystical Forerunner artifact. Ooh, once again, it's one of those kind of stories. Let's find an ancient alien artifact again. Except in a actually kind of creative twist, it turned out there was no artifact, and the guy who told them was basically lying out his butthole. to get the Covenant to not kill everyone. Except for the fact that the city they ended up attacking was totally not going to be attacked in the first place because they didn't really have a whole lot of resources to attack everything on Earth. So in reality, it was pretty much a wasted effort, and you actually managed to hurt more people. Smooth going there, guy. Also, there's a Fall of Reach cameo, which I guess that makes up for it. Not really. It's still bad. But, you know, if you want to see what happened in the Master Chief between Halos 2 and 3, don't buy it. Just download it. I wouldn't give them my money for this, for Uprising. But I did anyway. But with that being said, this is Sweet Small Bringer saying, hasta luego.